The FBI estimates that seniors lose about $3 billion every year to scams. So today we're going to talk about some of the scams that are going on out there right now and what you can do to protect yourself.
The very day that Amber and I were researching this topic, I got a call from a client who had just been scammed. Now this client is a retiree. She's very savvy, has homes in a couple different states. She travels back and forth between the states all the time. She books all of her flights on Delta. Somehow she was scammed. She actually gave her credit card number and her Delta SkyMiles number to scammers. After a few minutes of this, she kind of had a gut check and realized something was wrong. She quickly called Delta back to confirm that they had not received her reservation. By the time she had done all this, was about 20-30 minutes, the scammers had already racked up over $900 on her credit card and attempted to use her SkyMiles points before Delta shut them down.
So one thing she did right was using a credit card, because there are protections afforded by credit card companies for scams.
For fraud, yep. In the United States, you're only limited to $50 for fraudulent charges if you report it in a timely manner.
The other thing she did right was following her gut. She knew something was wrong, and so she checked into it, this time with Delta. But if you feel like you're being scammed, make sure you check in with someone that you trust.
Yeah, we saw some research that said that's actually the #1 best way to prevent yourself from being the victim of a scam is to talk with someone you trust. In this case, she called Delta right away, but then her next call was to her financial advisor. Now, why is that smart? Because financial advisors really have two things going for them when it comes to identifying scams. The first thing is that financial advisors are in the industry, so they know what is legitimate and how the system actually is supposed to work. So things outside of that norm will raise a red flag. But also, just like us, we're talking with our clients on a daily or weekly basis to get reports on what's happening out there, these scams that they're seeing. And so we have a much broader knowledge of what's going on and can say, no, that's a total scam, and try to shut it down early. So #1 tip to protect yourself from being scammed is to have a trusted person that you call or to have a gut check with.
Okay, so some of the scams out there right now are, the first one we want to talk about actually is the IRS scam. Now this one has been
an oldie but goodie.
This one's been around for a while, and it's actually becoming more rare because people are onto them, but we still see it sometimes. And so what it is someone calls pretending to be from the IRS, and they tell you that you owe them this money and it's due right immediately, and if you don't pay it right away, there will be huge penalties or even litigation against you.
Right.
And so you need to pay it immediately. So this is a scam. The IRS will
never call you.
Never.
Good luck getting the IRS to call you for anything. The IRS will never call you. All communication with the IRS is through the U.S. Postal Service, or I suppose in the extreme cases, the U.S. Marshals.
Exactly. So if someone calls you pretending to be from the IRS, just hang up. If they're asking you for personal information, the IRS has your personal information.
Yeah.
They don't need you to give it to them.
They've got it.
So IRS scam, one of the older ones around. If someone calls pretending to be from the IRS, that's just a hang up.
Now, as we enter the holidays, let's talk about another scam, Amber, which is really popular this time of year, and that is the online shopping scam. So a lot of retirees are out there on social media sites and they're scrolling through and they see an ad pop up that interests them. Remember, Facebook and these other companies will target your interest. They're going to show you ads that pique your interest. You'll click on that. It'll go to a fake site that'll take your order just to get your credit card information and then never, of course, ship you the items. The problem with that one is you might not know for a week or two, because the item never arrived, that you were scammed, and by then thousands and thousands of dollars are out there on your charge. So Amber, how can viewers protect themselves from the online shopping scam now during the holiday?
So the best way to deal with this and to see if a company is legit before you order anything is to take the name of the company, put it into your search engine on your computer, and follow up the name with the word scam or reviews and see what people are saying about it. Is it a legitimate business? Is it a legitimate company? And you'll be able to find out right away what people are saying about it, and you'll know whether or not you should actually order from that company.
Especially if you haven't done business with them in the past, right? If it's a new company, you haven't ordered from them in the past, it could be a scam. And so definitely do that, or just stick with more reputable type companies as well.
So the last scam we want to talk about is what's called the overpayment scam. And what that is and how it relates to retirees is a lot of our clients are people who are still working part-time, maybe doing some freelance work, or even just selling something on Craigslist. If someone ever requires your services or you're selling something to them and they send you more money by check than what you're asking for, that's a red flag right there. That's not how business is done.
That never happens in real life. When do you ever send a check for overpayment? That doesn't happen, but this is actually one of the top scams right now. And then what do they want, Amber? They send the overpayment, then what do they expect the retiree to do?
They want you to send back the amount that they overpaid, but not necessarily by check. They want you to send it Venmo or PayPal or one of these cash apps. That's not how businesses work.
Yeah, and the reason they want you to do this is because once you send money to Venmo or PayPal and using these apps, you can't get it back, right? So that's what they want you to do. They want you to send that check, put it in your bank, and it's eventually going to bounce when it clears. In the meantime, you've taken money out of your account to return it to them, and then the check bounces, you're out the money that you sent them. So a couple of tips there. Number one, overpayments don't happen. Immediately somebody overpays you, don't even bother depositing the check, right? Don't even accept it and just say, well, send me a check for the correct amount. Especially if you're writing an article or something like that on freelance, or you're selling an item online, get the amount corrected up front. That's the first thing. Second thing is, again, don't use a different form of payment. If this does happen and you deposit a check and need to issue a refund, wait 10 or 14 days to make sure that that check actually clears and is in your bank before you return it, and then return it to them via check to buy yourself another few days that you can cancel the check at your bank if needed.
So you don't ever use Venmo or one of those cash apps with people that you haven't met, that you don't trust, that you don't know personally.
Yeah, if you don't know them personally, don't send them money.
So the most important takeaway for all of this, I think, is to talk to someone that you trust, whether it's one of your children or a trusted friend or your financial advisor. The people who are most at risk for falling victim to these scams are people who don't have anyone to discuss it with. So if you feel like you need someone that you can talk to these things about, you can go online and schedule a 15-minute introductory phone call with us at workwithnewgen.com.
Because you can make the rest of your life the best of your life.
Plan now to retire happy.